Pubg weapon tier list. Now, obviously, everybody is different consistency, different choice of gun, attachments can play a factor, maps can somewhat play a factor. But this is just my experience, what I feel like has destroyed me, what I have destroyed people with, what I feel like is the most consistent, you know, what's most useful, and what is not. So let's get some stupid stuff out of the way. Crossbow used to be OP when it was a one-shot. Now it takes forever, so it's down at the bottom. If it was one-shot crossbow, it'd probably be fucking S, honestly, or at least A and B. The rocket launcher, I mean, way too crazy, not consistent. We're just gonna put all the pistols down here. Maybe the Glock and B just because of the full auto. But you're pretty much not going to use pistol except in the very beginning of the game if you really even have to. So I can't really say that they're consistent. I don't even know if they have mortars in this game. I haven't honestly played in a little bit. But I don't think that they're... I don't even know how that would be used. The Deagle's actually pretty decent as well. But, okay, I think that's about all the overall stupid weapons. Now, obviously, some of these are care package weapons. And a lot of these have been changed as far as weapon types, attachments, and everything like that. So I think, like I said, overall consistency, damage, map, and everything like that. But please let me know what you guys think, where you guys would play something. Some of these are somewhat hard to see, and some of these I actually don't even know or remember the name of. So AKM, man, it's at least A for sure. I honestly might put it more towards the S tier of A, only because it's on every map, pretty easy to find, and it's the highest damage assault rifle that you can find off the rip, obviously. Takes 7.62. Attachments are the best. The recoil is difficult to control sometimes, especially for newer players, but I would say it's the easiest, hardest recoil to control, if that makes sense. Play with it a couple times, it's not so difficult. Other guns over here, like the barrel, which is essentially the faster fire rate AK, has way more recoil and is way harder to control and to also get used to. All just since I was talking about that, I'll put that in A as well. The reason, again, I wouldn't put that in S is because for a lot of people it's going to be hard to control the recoil. And honestly, without some attachments, it's still difficult to control even for people that have used it. But solid, you know, if you want something a little bit faster than the AK and can do at least as much damage, the barrel is the move. Winchester, I have to just put down here, I guess. Maybe C, because it can be alright, but it's only on Miramar. They did at least add the scope to it for, you know, ever. It's always on the gun now, so that's a good. But you're pretty much not going to kill anybody with it. I mean, in most firefights, you're just going to end up losing. I wouldn't suggest it, but it's whatever. Secondary shotgun, the sawed-off, I just have to put in C. It's not really even, I guess it's not essentially a secondary, it's like the third weapon slot, which would be the pistol slot. Which honestly, the only reason why it might be in B is because instead of a pistol, you could have, you know, a free shotgun instead of running a shotgun as a secondary. But nothing too crazy. The shotgun, we'll just, alright, VSS, I've just never liked the VSS. I think the only reason why it's not lower is because it can go full auto, and honestly, that can shred some people. But the bullet drop is insane. Now, already having a built-in suppressor is good and can be useful, but the damage is not there. And honestly, basically, it's a full auto close range sniper rifle that you shouldn't even use. That's just my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. The Mini 14, I think it's probably one of the worst DMRs in the game. Doesn't do a very good amount of damage, doesn't have a whole lot of bullet capacity, not many attachments either, which I think they've actually added some more attachments to it, but I might be wrong on that. Overall consistency, it's just not there. Like, I would take so many other DMRs, or even swap, you know, put a fucking 6 or 8x on an AK and make that, like, that'll probably outplay the Mini, in my opinion, or at least be close enough to where it shouldn't happen. But, yeah, it's not that amazing. Sorry, I had to get some water, talking too much. The AWM, S tier weapon. Obviously, it's a care package weapon, so it probably should be S tier automatically. But the fact that it can essentially one-shot anything, can one-shot, headshot anything like every other sniper rifle, honestly, except a level 3 helmet, but that'll get them down to red health. I don't even remember the number, but it's 10 or less. And I know it can one tap to the body if they have a level 1 vest. Level 2 vest, I think, actually saves them, but I think again it's like red health. Level 3 a little bit better. I think it actually might break a level 2 vest. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I haven't played enough PUBG lately. I used to play, like, it's my favorite BR by far. Played the shit out of it when it first came out, and you know, a few years after, but kind of fell off after a bit. But that's just me. Still love it though. If I had to pick a BR to last forever to still play, it's PUBG for sure. I think it's the best one as far as consistency. I've never seen this weapon, so I'm just putting it down here. It must be like a brand new one. Like some of these LMGs I've seen, but I don't know how great they actually are. This one is just kind of a better Mini 14. It's the I think that's the, so that's MK14. I think that may be MK11 or something like that. But it takes 5.56 DMR, but it's better than the Mini for sure. Pump shotgun, early game can be okay, but other than that, you're probably not going to use it. Double barrel shotgun, again, early game. After that, you'll find some better shit, probably drop it for sure. Now, which one is better of the two? I honestly don't know, kind of just preference. DBS is at least B tier for sure. The only reason why it's not higher is just because it is a shotgun, but it does have significant range. I mean, the shit is insane, honestly, for hitability with that, and does really well. Like, if you're keeping any shotgun in the game as your secondary weapon, it's probably that one. Or it might be the S12 just because it's semi-auto. But I would still take the DBS over the S12 for sure, as far as damage, range, and I think it outbeats it in everything. But still, the fact that I think you can click the S12 probably a little bit faster, but the DBS is pretty nasty. The DP is just not the best. I guess if you don't have much and you have that, then okay, you know, you have LMG, but I think it's probably the worst LMG, and not really worth keeping as far as a weapon. The Scorpion, the only reason why I'm putting it in B is because if you can have, you know, a third weapon, your third weapon, if you're even running one, be a fully automatic weapon, then it's pretty good, you know, if the fight comes down to that, or, you know, ammo's scarce or whatever, having a third weapon that's also fully automatic is pretty nasty. As far as how good it is, it's not really that great, but, you know, it's good enough for the third weapon slot, you know what I mean? Oh, let's see. So this is the M24. I've always liked the M24 probably as my favorite sniper rifle only because the bullet drop is very minimum. It's a very straight shot sniper rifle. Now it does do less damage than the Kar 98 now. I think it did the same or maybe a little bit less, or honestly maybe even a little bit more at one point. But they did drop it just because I think it is better because of the lack of bullet drop, but I do see why they nerfed it to make it do less damage, but it still can one-shot down a level 2 helmet, so as long as it can do that, then I don't really care, right? The Mozant Nugget, or whatever, obviously any sniper rifle is pretty decent, but I haven't played with it enough to put it in a crazy spot, and obviously I would still say that, you know, if you're going to take a sniper rifle, it's probably going to be Kar 98, M24, or the above that one. I might be wrong about that, please let me know if I am, but it's not significant enough for me to, you know, put it crazy. Kar 98, everybody loves it, gotta put it up there. It's probably the easiest sniper rifle to get, especially on most maps, except maybe the M24. I would say the only reason I can't put it in S, even though it might deserve it, is just because of the bullet drop, and obviously no sniper is better than the which doesn't mean that it shouldn't be in the S because of that reason, but you know, if I'm picking between these two, I'm personally taking the M24, so I can't necessarily put that above my boy like that, you know? But that's just me. Tommy gun, gotta put it in C. I might actually put it in B, but the only reason why it would be in B is because now that they've added the fact that you can put sights on it and stuff, makes it at least viable, but again, pretty much of all the guns that you see that are left or a sniper rifle, you're gonna take those over the Tommy. But it's not gonna win most 1v1 fights, so I'm gonna have to put it in C. But at least now, for the longest while now that they've had sights on it. Same with the Uzi. I think the Uzi is better than the Tommy just because rate of fire, and now again you can have sights on it. Makes a huge buff to making it viable, and especially early game. The AUG, I would say the AUG is A, basically only because it's a care package weapon. I would take a lot of other 5.56 weapons at least the same amount as I would take the AUG, but I've never been crazy impressed when playing with it. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it's probably the most damaging 5.56 weapon. Again, probably just because it's a care package weapon, but I've never been S tier impressed, but it is obviously a very, very solid gun. The Scar H, I have to put in B. Maybe A. I think it's B only because... No, I think it's gotta be A. I mean, I believe it's the fastest fire rate, 5.5, except for the G36, but the Scar you can find on any map. So basically it's... If the Scar isn't on the map, it's either the G36 or it's the QBZ. So I think the fact that the Scar is kind of not replaceable, but replaceable in the sense that they're trying to keep up with the high fire rate assault rifle, makes it an A tier weapon. The Groza, I have never been impressed with, honestly. A lot of people are very good with it. A lot of people have shredded me over the years with it, for sure. I personally don't enjoy using it very much. As far as the care package weapon, I'd probably take just about any other one. Unless I have a 7.62 weapon already. You know, if I'm running an AK or a barrel with whatever is my secondary, and then I get a care package and it's a Groza, then I'll probably switch them out. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of it. G36 I think has to go in A. We're just going to put the... I think the QBZ is probably the worst variation of the fastest ones. I think G36 is better. A lot easier to control. The QBZ is kind of just all over the place, and it's not bad. It's a B tier weapon for sure, but again, as far as what ARs you're going to choose, if they're all, you know, sitting right in front of you, that's probably the lowest tier one or one of them for sure. The M4, I think for years, it probably just has to go in S. I think it's been the most consistent gun in the game since day one. Highest accuracy for sure, good amount of DPS, good attachments. I think it just can't really... Now, obviously, it can be out-damaged or even out-fire rated, but overall consistency, the fact that you already have the accuracy there, so recoil isn't a problem. In a 1v1 fight, you're probably going to win with the M4. Now, they have changed it a little bit more recently over the, you know, years or months, however long, but still, I would say overall lifetime of PUBG, it's probably the best AR in the game. M16, I have to put in A. If you just single fire tap that baby, especially back in the day, I think it was probably one of the best DMRs in the game. I know it's not really considered a DMR, it's an AR, but still. Burst version of it is meh, like just single fire crazy tap that motherfucker and you'll be fine. One of my past favorite guns in the game for sure. The MK, mostly just up here because it's a care package weapon in the A tier, but it is good, and it is full auto, so honestly, you know, any sight that you have on it, it'll be worth a pickup and worth a use for sure. So yeah, solid overall. The Mutant, I would honestly also have to put in A. I think just the different things that you can do with the Mutant as far as bursting it, how much damage it does, how fast you can shoot it, and it's honestly viable with any sight on it, whether it's, you know, red dot up to a 6 probably. I don't think anything deserves an 8 except a sniper. 6 is honestly a little much, but I still think you might be able to work with it. 4 or less for sure. But yeah, I think it's a solid gun for sure. One of the better ones, especially one of the better DMRs choices. MP5, I think is just an overall solid B tier weapon. The only reason why I'm probably not putting it higher is just because it's only on certain maps like Vikendi. It's alright. It's just a solid gun. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything like that. The Bison is a little bit more difficult. I think I'm going to have to put it in B only because of lack of attachments and lack of things you can do with it. But the fact that it has 53 bullets in the mag makes it insane, especially in a game like this where you might have to reload. And especially if you're not the most accurate player, having not an insanely recoiled SMG with 53 bullets can definitely help you. But again, I think this is only on certain maps as well. I may put it in A, but for sure keeping it in B tier. QBU, B tier, pretty high amount of damage, but again, only having it on Sandhawk, it's not crazy to where I'm picking up that over an SLR or a Mutant, obviously MK. Now the M16, I don't think the M16 is actually on Sandhawk. I think that's its replacement, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly don't remember. It's been a minute. The SKS I have to put in B. I personally have never liked the SKS. I don't know why. I think the recoil per shot is just off or weird or something to me. I don't think for what I would consider a high tier DMR weapon that it doesn't do as well as it should. Again, if I'm choosing DMRs, I'm not choosing SKS. I would choose QB over SKS for sure. The only reason why I'm not putting this lower is because I know people will probably yell at me. But I would probably put it C really, but I know it deserves at least a B slot. The SLR I think is the best DMR in the game. The fact that it can do so much damage. I mean, if you hit somebody in the head with one bullet, your next shot is going to down them for the most part. Obviously, it depends on the gear and distance and whatnot, but it does so much damage. The recoil isn't crazy. It sounds good. It feels good. It's on all maps as far as I remember. Probably the best DMR addition to the game for sure. The solid SMG, budget AR, overall solid gun, nothing flashy. Definitely doesn't deserve to be down here, but overall very, very solid gun. No problems with it. Vector, I'll put in B. If you have an extended mag, it probably can go to A, but again, solid, fastest fire rate SMG in the game. Basically, as soon as you click to shoot, you're out of bullets type, so you got to be pretty accurate, or the person can't be moving too crazy amount. But overall solid, especially with extended mag, can quick, easy down people very quickly, and no problems. And it's on, I believe, all maps as well. The Krig is one of the newer additions. I think it's just a solid B tier unit, or gun, whatever you'd like to call it. Which obviously it's a gun, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I don't think it's crazy. I think, for an additional added AR gun to the game, it's solid. You're not gonna be pissed off taking it. How about that? Overall solid. LMG, obviously LMGs can be very good in a game like this, but unless you have some attachments, the recoil is definitely there. I would say just not necessarily the best. I would say what runs PUBG is ARs, DMRs, and snipers. If you're running an SMG, it's because it's probably a closer quarters map, or you have enough ammo to run it, or you're running it as a budget AR, or that's just your favorite gun and you're really good with it, or whatever. But PUBG is definitely snipers for sure, DMRs for the snipers if you don't have that, and then ARs are definitely the choice of essentially primary weapon. And again, I'm sorry, half of these, like, I don't know this one. It must be the most brand new or something weird looking. I don't even know. Crossbow, again, if it was the one-tap crossbow, it'd be up higher. This just goes all over the place, not worth it. I don't even know if they've actually added mortars to the game. I don't think they have. All the other stuff, but please let me know where you guys think everything should be, what you guys think of the list, where you would put or place something, where you don't like or do like where I did put it. Comments, let me know. I don't even know how many hours I have of PUBG. I played so much of it when it first came out. It was insane. I would honestly, like, I could go back and play it today and still have a great time. Um, but it kind of just eventually fell off. I played up until, consistently played up until they added Vikendi, which is the snow map. And after that, I played off and on then to where they added, what did they add after that? I know they added Paranmo or whatever the hell that name is. Um, kind of played a lot on that, and then haven't played for a couple months since. I know they added Haven, which I did. I have played on all the maps at least before when they first came out because I like to see what they're doing, but haven't played a lot on that. I know everybody seems to hate it, I guess. But as far as the beta, the test server, and actual hours, a shit ton. So this is just my overall PUBG life of consistency. So again, let me know